Hi, it's Karen from Simply Said with Karen, and today I have a card from the new catalog, the 2022-23 catalog, and it's called the Bottled Happiness, and this is a two-step stamp, and I want to show you how to line it up. I have the punch, the bottle punch. You can get this at a bundle for 10% off, and I'm going to be using one of the new ink colors, Orchid, Orchid, that's not easy to say. And I'll just tell you what these measurements are. I'm using basic white cardstock for the base, cut at 4 1/4 by 11 and scored at 5 1/2. Then I cut another piece of cardstock in the Orchid Oasis, and it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 because I want it to go over top of the card base. I have already embossed it with the time-worn embossing folder. Now I have a piece of designer series paper, and this is from the 6x6 2022 to 2024 ink colors, and I've used the plaid. There's different patterns in there that you can choose from. This is Whisper, or not Whisper White, it's Basic White. We'll be stamping the image on there. So then I also have a scrap for the bottle and a piece Basic White for the sentiment. So I'm going to put these measurements into the description of the video, so you can scroll down below the video and type them in or write them down so that you can recreate this card. I'm using Orchid Oasis. It's not an orchid, it's an oasis. And for stamping, and I'll be using the Parakeet Party for the leaves, and I'm going to show you how to line this stamp up. And I'm also going to be using the Stamparatus. When I use the Stamparatus, I like to put washi tape down on my paper so that if it slips, and what I have problems with is getting it to stay when I lift up the acrylic cover, it'll sometimes pull up the paper. And the other thing, the advantage of the Stamparatus is that if the image doesn't come out clearly, then you can stamp it again. So I'm using a scrap of Basic White to stamp the bottle, and I'm using Basic Gray, and this also is a two-step stamp. So I'm just going to line up my stamp here. There we go. It's stuck to my fingernails. It gets stuck to this and the next thing. Okay, I'm going to stamp the bottle, and I'm going to stamp it in Smoky Slate. So we have it all set up, ready to go. See, that's what happens to cardstock. It just gets pulled up. And it's not that we get it straight, but it's nice if you do. Okay, so you're going to use this ink and put it down and rub it. See, that's what happens. And try this again. No, again. Third time's the charm, right? I'm going to take these completely off. There, that's better. Okay, so then we have the second part of the two-step stamp, and it just gives some shadow to the bottle. We'll try this again. That should be lined up. Take this off. Okay, so now we are ready to, so I'll ink my stamp. This is Smoky Slate I'm using. Give it a good rub. There, looks pretty good. It just gives the outline of so then I'm going to use my stamp, or my punch rather, and punch it out. And we'll stick it in here like this. So of course you know the trick. If the paper is too short to go in the punch, then you need a handle. So I'm going to find myself a handle, and I'm going to put a glue dot on it, and then you just attach it to your cardstock or what you're punching, and then you can use it to manipulate so it'll be straight. Pretty good. That's done. Now we can go ahead and stamp the flowers, and I'm going to be using Orchid Oasis for that. So the the bottle is going to go down there like that. And this is my flowers. Now I just want to show you something. So I'm going to show you how to start with the placement. So if you can see this, I don't know if you can, let me see. I need something behind it. There's a big flower. Let me see. There's a big flower at the top here and a smaller one just above it. And we want to place that on the paper so that we sort of have an idea of where the other stamp, the second stamp that we stamp with, should go. So I'm going back to my Stamparatus and I'm going to put flower on here. Like I said, this is the big flower up here. And it doesn't matter, like try and get it to the top of the paper as close as you can, because we can just, if it's too far down, you don't want too much tucked of the bottle tucked behind it. Okay, so that's good. Okay, I've got my paper on here and I just want to put it like this so I know where it is. These stamps are way too sticky. Okay, so the big flower is at the top and the smaller flower is above it, and I'm stamping it in the Orchid Oasis. This is a very pretty color. Now with my luck, that big ball of ink somewhere on my card. Hope not though. I think I should take and use my chamois to wipe it off, because we need to put some more ink on there. Ta-da! There it is. Okay, so just leaving it here and taking off this stamp. We'll put the leaves on now. And like I said, there's a big leaf there that goes. So that leaf goes over there. And the center of the flowers are lined up. Just eyeball to make sure the other ones are too. So we'll just pick up a stamp and get the ink on it. And I'm using the Parakeet Party. I can't even talk these days. See how well that goes. Perfecto. So there is I managed to get a smudge on here. So here is your bouquet of flowers once you have it all lined up. Okay, so now we just have to put this card together. And first of all, I need to use my Stamparatus again because I want to show you a tip. And I need to take all this stuff out. Okay, so then we need the card base and the piece that we embossed. And I'm going this way. This is the side we're going to put down. And I know there's an up and a down on here. Put some glue on it. In this package, in this little bottle, I have the multi-purpose liquid glue. And the reason I put it in this little bottle is so that it doesn't come out in big streams of glue. It's a wonderful glue because you can move your papers, and then we'll just put it away. Okay, so line up, make sure it's going all the right way. Okay, so tuck it up into the corner there, and then just put this on, and it gets tucked up into the corner too, and hopefully it'll all work out. And I see I have to trim that side a little bit, which I will do. Get some of this stuff out of my way so I can see. Now we'll put the designer series paper on, and again I'm going to use the glue. See, this side, that side's a plaid, this side's got polka dots, so if you like polka dots, you'll have fun creating with them. And I would really like to find out how to use the Stamparatus to put more layers on, because I'm very crooked. That's that. So I'll put that aside for now, and we'll find our bottle, and we'll use dimensionals to attach it. With any luck, some of this the smudge I made will get covered up. Might help if I take these off. So then I'm going to put some ribbon on, and I'm using Granite Gray, and I'm going to put it on this side, and we'll go around to the back, and then I'm going to take another few inches to tie a bow. Yes, and then I'm going to use this block, tie the ribbon, when my daughter was growing up, could not braid her hair. So I'm all thumbs. So when she got old enough, she wanted her hair long. And I said, well, if you learn how to do your braids, you can have long hair. So she practiced on her little Barbie dolls and made braids out of all those tiny hairs on her head, Barbie's head. And she'd have a whole mass of braids. But she learned how to braid, and she was able to do her own hair, which was a godsend because she was in dance, and so she for dance recitals and things like that, she was able to do her own hair. So now when you get the bow tied, you just slip it off. I'm going to just cut this in half. So then you just one end and the other end goes this way. And I'm going to use glue dots to attach the ribbon. And I might have to tie that bow again because it seems really loose. And then just put a glue dot on the other end. So now that I got the two ends attached, I can tie a proper bow. Although I never know if my bows are proper. I also think I tie my bows backwards. There, that's better. My bow is happy. Adjust the ends and tie it a little tight, and Bob's your uncle. Well, if you have an Uncle Bob. So then we just trim the ends. I'm going to use these scissors. These are my ribbon scissors. Just give them a little, try not to snip. Now we can put it on here, and I'm going to use dimensionals, so we'll pop it up. Okay, there we go. So then now all we have to do, see, I got my bow upside down. All we need to do now is do a sentiment, and I do have one here, and I'm going to use this. Now this piece of paper or cardstock is 1 inch by quite a bit because I'm going to use the Lovely Labels die, and it takes a little bit more paper than normal. So I just need to stamp it. I don't need to use my stamparatus, although I think I will because you have to have some kind of foam mat under. And a wipe. Now I seem to have misplaced my magnets, so I have a spare one that I keep here, and I'm just going to put it at the end here. Lift it up, reposition it, get my ink. I'm going to do this in Orchid Oasis. These colors are really saturated, so you need to be careful when you're working with your papers so that you don't accidentally get ink on them. Okay, so we'll just ink this up and then bring it down. There, perfect. You don't even have to stamp it again. Now, I'm going to trim this a little bit, but we need to let it dry. Okay, we'll bring our stamp, our punch in. Cuts 3 different punches, 3 different sizes. There's 1 inch, 3/4, and a 1/2 inch. So I'm going to stick it up here. So then you stick it all the way up, slide it all the way up to the back. And I like to turn it over to make sure that it's centered. Doesn't look very nice. Okay, that looks pretty good. So I say that, and then it's not. But I think this is too long, so I'm going to cut it. And then, oh, there's one of my magnets. So we'll do that again. Turn it over to make sure that it's centered. Okay, so now you save that little piece because you can put it on here for a guide so that its label is somewhat the same on both sides. Well, I think I need to put a handle on it because I think I cut it. So it's got a little bit of a handle now. Turn it over and then you can adjust it. Perfecto. Don't tear your paper though when you get take your handle off. Okay, so I think I'm going to put it right here. We'll put it on top of the bottle with dimensionals. Can't believe I lost it. Okay, so we get these dimensionals on the back and we'll put it right there. I have some classic matte dots that we're going to use. I'm going to use the gray ones. Now what you can do is you can also decorate the inside of your card, and in the interest of time I'm not going to do that, but you can use a piece of the designer series paper that you cut because it's only 6 by 6, so you're going to have some scraps left over, and then put on your sentiment and maybe ink up a flower and stamp it as well, and put it in an envelope and mail it off. Because right now Stampin' Up is promoting Everyday Heroes, and I'm sure somebody that you know that has helped you out over the last couple of years or delivered your groceries or whatnot, you can always give it to them so that they know they're appreciated. So thank you, and I will have the instructions or the measurements down below. Please take a moment and subscribe to my channel, and a thumbs up would be appreciated. You can also look on my blog, and I'll have all those addresses for you. And I have a sign up form on my front page of my blog that you can fill out, and then you on the mailing list, and you will get my emails and my big monthly newsletter. So thank you once again for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed making this card, and you can see how easy two-step stamping is. Bye for now. Thank you.